It's Kurt Browning.
My partner in Sochi.
How are you?
My partner.
What's going on?
Wow, that's...
Dude.
I can't live up to this at home. Stop it.
Dude, with Russia's draconian anti-gay laws, I think two straight men should totally partner up and dance in Sochi.
Hit it in Russia.
Yeah, we should absolutely.
I'm a little worried because it's the first time in the booth commentating at an Olympics for me.
Yeah.
And they throw this in my face. Yep. So, and I'm going to say figure skating is not one of the most macho of sports. Right. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get some attention.
Well, it's super macho in a lot of ways, and that
is it
right.
Blades,
it
yes.
is right. But also, yeah, of course, it's figure skating is a sport that's been open to gay men without judgment for a long time. I think,
you know what, if there was a place that you wanted to feel free about anything, figure skating is it, because you're not told what to wear. Yeah. There's a lot of, there's not, okay, unfortunately, I listened on occasion, I shouldn't have. But yeah, it's you. You decide your image, and you decide if you win or lose. You might not be on the top of the podium, but nobody in figure skating can take away the time you have on the ice alone. Right. And I keep telling kids that all the time. You might not ever make a living skating, or you might not really ever know what it feels like on the top of that podium, but nobody can take that moment from you, and that's what I like about skating.
Can you imagine?
That was a good speech. You liked
I loved it. Yeah. You become now a judge on Battle of the Blades, so it's a show you've hosted. You can still skate.
Co-host with Ron McLean,
and in that position, and now you're the judge.
And it was my fault. It was my decision, and I came to them and said, I think I'd like to judge, and here's why. I just felt like after 3 years of working with the players and co-hosting with Ron, I got a good idea of what I hope that they can get from the experience as people and as, you know, skaters. And I also think that I have a little touch with what Canada wants from those hockey players when they're trying to do this. And I hope that comes through in my judging. But I'm scared. I will tell you,
Seriously?
I'm nervous. I'm super nervous.
About what? You're not the one jumping?
Well, no, I'm not. But I see them. I see how hard they work. And they put their lives on the line for 3 months. And that's all for charity. And I'm deciding, you know, and I can commentate because that's a comment. Yeah. And then it goes away. But a mark stays.
When I watched the first 2 seasons, the hockey players didn't really understand the kind of risk that for the partners, man, and severe injury that could happen. Do you think these guys are going to really, like, do you beat it into their heads?
We do. We bring in players who have actually hurt their partner before and had them talk to them. Honestly, we do that because these guys are huge, and when they're carrying these girls above their head, we don't allow them to turn. So if you wonder why all the players don't turn, that's so that no one hopefully gets hurt. But they're up high, so if they toe pick, they're 11, their heads are, that's just, don't even want to talk about it. The guys are freaked out. They've got a life in their hands and sequence. So that's a lot to deal with at once. We don't put sequence on them too often.
I was going to say that while, yes, it is true that in culture life is important, sequence, that's up there.
That's where they're placed. But it can enhance or it can distract.
You don't want death by sequence.
We also don't want these guys to feel anything other than great on the ice, and we want to make heroes out of them, not fools. Right. So that's what the show's about. It's about inspiring. There's a charity element that these guys are working really hard. Yeah. And when you see a hockey player that you've seen tough your whole life, growing up, you're watching that guy and he's tough, and then he's crying about how his father lost his sanity, and that's why I'm doing this show, and I want to inspire my daughters to do whatever they want. And the show has a good feeling to it. Yeah, man, and you know what? In this country, too, we've created this culture of hockey gods, which, I mean, I like and endorse when I'm younger, and as I get older, I go, wow, we have such a skewed sense of masculinity in this country, and such a skewed sense of toughness, and it's all about hockey players, man. I don't know about that.
Oh, no, for sure. A guy breaks a leg on the ice, he breaks his femur, and he skates off, and we go, what a hero. Like, stay down. Get on a stretcher.
Get smart,
but what I loved about Battle, and we'll love again about it, is that you get to see these tough guys be vulnerable and challenge their own perceptions of what you can do on ice.
The first season, Ty Domi was having a little bit of trouble with the romantic night. You know, a little bit of stiffness there.
He's no Javier Bardem.
You put your arm around her like that. Yeah. So I grabbed Ty and I pulled him aside and I said, "Man, I know you're uncomfortable with this." And I said, "There's a way of thinking about it that'll change the way you move." I said, "Skate for your mom." Skate for your mom and make her remember the little boy you used to be when she had just you. And then we grow up and we become individuals. But I said, skate for your mom and make her cry. And he went back on the ice and everything got more patient and everything got softer. it's fun to watch the evolution.
You're like the skate whisperer.
I am a little bit, but you know what? And it was fun before because I could whisper to them.
Yeah.
And now as the judge, I kind of have to keep a bit of distance.
All right, let me play this one, Budapest.
Uh-oh.
Budapest.
Was it just as you had done it in practice and in your mind, or was there something that said, this may be the most important jump of my entire skating career?
Well, that's almost what went through my mind. You're not going to believe me when I say I didn't know what to think. I was skating into it and doing the inside edge right before I turned. And I thought to myself, what am I supposed to be thinking at this moment? And then I just turned backwards and it happened.
Kurt was Sue Preston's back in the day.
I've never seen that. That was pretty, kind of squeaky little voice, I like that. I've never really grown up, I feel. Like that constant whimsical values that comes with not knowing what you're doing every day makes life an adventure, but it gets me in trouble sometimes. Yeah, it's amazing that I made it here in time.
I would imagine, though, like, because so much of your life has been public with us, your wins, your losses, your disappointments.
Big losses.
Big losses, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've seen this clip before, but just to remind people how much Kurt cared about us.
Aw, what's happening now?
It seemed that you had that axle, and then it came to this.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's really gone this time. I just feel that there's certain things that happen to you in life, and you just go on. I mean, this isn't the end of the world. I've got lots of other things. I've got a beautiful family and all these other things, and I know a lot of people are sad in Canada, and sorry.
Yeah. Norway, 94, right?
Yep.
I remember watching that, and I remember thinking to myself, he just said sorry to us. Nobody does that in sports. Nobody says sorry. And I wondered, I know it's the Canadian joke, but I wondered, wow, what were you thinking when you said that?
If I was American, I would have said sorry.
Sorry, right?
Here's what happened, and winning the Olympics was never a dream of mine, honestly. Like, Brian Boitano talks from the United States, but he talks about visualizing it, and I never did. What I visualized was being able to see Canada has 16 medals and knowing that I gave them one of those. And that's what I was hung up on. And I wanted to participate in that ledger, that list. And it didn't matter what color to me. And I was a world champion going in, and it was my job to come home with a check mark, and it didn't happen. And I think it was that made me say sorry.
Help us understand the psychology of big moment competition. Like, what's going on in here?
All I tell people and all I remember is that if I really wanted to be there, it was easier. Everything is easier if you're where you want to be. And I'm like, I worked really hard to stand here and be ready for this moment. And now I enjoy it. My coach, Michael Uranek, used to, when we got on the airplane, a lot of beer talk here, but we got on the airplane, and we're flying over the Atlantic, and we're going to compete at who knows where. And he would say, 2 beers. And we're flying, 8-hour flight, whatever it might be. 1 beer's not going to change anything, but it was a moment where we just went, cheers, we're done. Let's go celebrate by competing. This is the reward, not the punishment. And if you can feel that way, like the excitement of competition is the reward. I worked so hard for this, and it might not go my way, but I'm not going to let it ruin who I am. And if you can think that way, then life's a lot easier.
So in the end, winning isn't everything.
My book comes out. It's like I'm preaching today. You bring it out in people, man. You
have offered so much insight in the world of figure skating. You're also a very good hockey player, aren't you?
David Pelletier doesn't think I am, but yeah, I do.
Hey, dude, he's a Quebec Nordiques fan. What do you expect from him? He loves the Nordiques, right? I love Pelletier, man. That guy's so intense.
He's intense.
About competition.
Everything.
I love that. But you are a good player, right?
I used to be. I have some hockey trophies at home.
What I thought we would do is, because we're combining battle blades, hockey, and figure skating, of course, I would like you to show us a couple of figure skating touches to some hockey games. Hockey things. Well, touches, not like touches.
Touches?
No, I mean...
Oh, like if a figure skater was on the ice playing hockey, what would it look like?
Right, exactly, yeah. So we got 2 people who actually run this TV show with me. So the 2 people who run this TV show, Brianne and Sarah with no age. Come on out, guys. Come on out. Thank you, thanks, Sarah.
Brianne. Nice to see you here.
How are you?
Make sure the camera gets a good shot of you. Say hi, Mom.
Are you a hockey player? No? Are you a figure skater?
Oh.
No, Brianne, are you a figure skater? Oh, she's a figure skater. Are you better than Kurt Browning? No. You're lucky. All right.
Not on Thursday.
Let's come down here.
I see you did some research as well.
You're a lefty.
Shooty left. Yeah.
You know, for most young hockey players, they're trying to dangle and be fancy, and they're going to do that. But nobody has flair like a figure skater. So what would a figure skating addition be to a wrist shot? Why are you looking at? First of all, why are you looking at me like I didn't tell you we were doing this?
Well, I know. I'm just. You used the word wrist, and I'm thinking that there's a lot of wrist. A lot of wrist.
Now you're doing a gay joke. Why are you doing that?
Because Sochi.
Whoa.
Take that, Sochi.
Oh, okay, wait. Do that again. Do that again. Walk me through it. Well, walk me through it. What are you doing?
The drag and the. Oh, come here. Okay, so where is it? I can't remember how to do that. And then you go, like, look over there. And you put it in. Right, but then it's the celebration afterwards.
Yeah, so how does a figure skater celebrate?
Then you get a lot of speed up and you go to center ice and you go, yeah!